I told you we're always bringing you first here at MLG. Check this out, 210 to 210 score on ball lockdown, ambush, and status quo. Both teams won it in the waning seconds. Status quo ties it up, 210-210. We got to check with the commission, see what we do here. Status quo 2, ambush 1 for the moment.
That was fucking scary. I don't know how they did it, to be honest. Dude, chill.
All right, we promised you a lot of live, great action, and we're going to go straight into this next game right here. Let's do it all over again.
All right, so here we go. It's lockdown ball. If you guys don't know how it plays, well, you must have been sleeping the last 15 minutes. We're going on forward with Gilcrease.
Well, Ace is about to take out the whole team. Ace took out the whole team.
Before we get started with this game, we have 15 minutes to talk about what's going on in-game.
Okay.
Let's just talk about what happened in the last 30 seconds of that game. You have ambush. They're up. They're feeling comfortable. They had a 50-second lead at one point. Status quo starts chipping away. And then, with 12 seconds left on the clock, Flamesword gets clutch, grabs the oddball, has enough protection to sneak away with no shield into the B base, or the A base rather, and ties the game up at 210. I don't think I've ever seen an oddball game on the main stage tie.
That's the first time for me, Halo 2 and 3. I've never even heard of an oddball game being tied.
And again, I mean, if you're ambush, you got to be thinking, we can do this, we can do this. 2 times in that last minute, if they could have held the ball for 1 second, 1 second more, they could have pulled it out. But here we are.
All right.
Game 4B.
Exactly. We're on game 5, baby. We're going to game 6, hopefully. Oh, wow.
I'll be interested to see if that first lockdown ball was just kind of like a fluke, that they weren't playing as smoothly as they normally should. It was almost like a practice round for them. I mean, both teams weren't playing as well as they should have been.
And to be honest, the longer that this drags out, the better it is for ambush. They seem to be warming up. Meanwhile, status quo, they're just, it seems like maybe they're running out of gas or something here, but they do not have the same power that they had in the first 2 games.
Yeah, Scott, what does it do for your psyche when you got to go into another 15-minute game? You're probably looking forward to a Slayer match coming up next.
Hey, it's never happened to me, but I imagine I'd be a little upset by it. I'd almost rather just say the person who gets, if it was me and I ended up getting the tie, I'd say, well, we won that game. It makes sense to me. We tied. And I'd fight that to the death.
And Anakin, a.k.a. John Nelson, the commissioner, would destroy you.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. We just got an overkill. Yeah. I barely got it on there. Next is coming up huge with an overkill extermination. We missed it because I was looking at Scott. Sorry for those of you watching at home.
I saw the medals.
Yeah, medals. Go back, watch this VOD. Make sure you watch it, the second oddball game, not the first one. All right, Gilky picking up the double kill. Nexus is down, and you have 2 members alive here for ambush. Gilky, the last member alive now. The rest of his team spawning away from him because status quo is right underneath him. And you got Ace being really sneaky. He was under the base, wrapped around, went underneath. Now he's coming up the Ace stairs. Meanwhile, Gilky, he's just running circles, and he's not seeing anybody. His teammates are calling places out, but he's not seeing the people they're calling out. We're going to listen in with this ambush squad. They got a 41-second lead here to start this one off, and they're looking pretty strong.
Car 8, clutch, one shot. You got clutch? Car 3, Ace. Car side A, stay alive. 2 guys bottom A, 2 guys bottom A. Stay alive, help show. Hey, car 8. One shot, car 1, One shot, A, jump up. One shot, front car, 1 shot. Tots is car B weak, Tots. I'm looking there. I detonated. Nice, 2 dead. Car 1. Unknown ball, guys, no being ball. Car A.
Hey, 2 Ace there, bottom A.
Last guy, clutch. Last guy.
Bottom A, hold on.
Clutch, bottom A. Take courtyard. Got him. A house. Car behind me. On ball. Going cut car 8 tunnel. Car 8 tunnel, 1 shot. One shot, going far side. He's chilling in the tunnel. He's in the tunnel. Nice. Bottom center, flame. Front 8. Flame's dead. Hey, be car. I'm rushing. Car 3. Car 3's 1 shot, Ace. Part 3's one shot ace.
Our house, my house.
Ace is dead. I died by Nate. Nice, 2 dead. Hey, B street and P3. Last guys. B street.
And look at Bullseye there in the background. He is bouncing around to all the players. You see him right behind Macchio, right behind Tizoxic, and he's doing a great job of bouncing out to Nexus and Gilkey to make sure they know what's going on the other screens.
And you know, Tizoxic and Nexus have put a lot of trust into Bullseye because he's been sitting there watching him play so much, just like Lammy. Straight Rippin puts so much trust into Lammy because he's watched him play for so long. That's the big difference between just picking up a coach before an event and having like a coach that you trust. Because when you trust a coach, you will listen to everything they say and won't question.
Right now, you're seeing that Status Quo is climbing back into the game. We're going to jump on board with, I was going to go to Flamesword, but he's about to die. We'll stay on board with Macchio.
Pink 1, they're all going to be Pink 1, guys. Look. Let him be going car B.
I'm out over here. Damn,
I am. P3. Time is 3, Joe. I'm coming to you guys. Part 3.
Let's go, B1A.
A3.
What's up right there?
A2. Nice. Part 3. One shot on the ball, Chris. Chris, 2 guys there. There's 2 guys on the ball, Chris. Nice go, Chris. You got him. Another one, Chris. Sit on it. One shot on the ball, guys.
And the poo did not come.
Nice up. Last guy. Behind you. Link side. Bottom center. Going front A.
Chris, you're so clever today.
I know.
I can't even stand
I
it.
can't even sit next to you. It's crazy. All right, we're going on board with Mac Dog Jr.
Flame sword's weak.
Heavy shots put on him from across the map. Ace is holding the ball for Status Quo, 78-56 right now. It's a pretty tight game, just like the last one, going back and forth, but actually Ambush has had the lead most of this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ambush drops that lead anytime soon. They're playing very consistent for once. I mean, throughout this entire series, we've seen them kind of be streaky, kind of be all over the place, but Gilkey's really kind of gluing them together.
Yeah, speaking of Gilkey's play on this map, Ambush's play on this map overall, they win this. This is their best game type. They win this game type 80% of the time that they've played it this year, and whereas Status Quo on the other side, it's one of their worst. They've only won about 40% of the time, so favors Ambush here.
You were saving those stats for the second oddball game, weren't you? I love it.
I knew we were going to have a tie in the first one.
You can check it out right now. You had Status Quo taking the lead 82-81, and Gilkey's like, I'm going to tie this thing. Tied the lead.
I mean, if you watch Gilkey move around on this map and play this map, he looks very comfortable here. The way he manages the eyeball, the way he manages VR, like you said, his VR shot seems to be on more than any other map he plays on. It's just looking good.
He's doing a great job of listening to the coach and the team. You see his mouth. He's not really talking. Right now, he's the guy with the oddball, so he doesn't know exactly what's going on. There he's talking. It's to talk smack to